After the death of Lyra Luminar on the black sands of Weskoria, and the bitter succession struggle of the spiritual canopy that had sheltered Burghandia for centuries began to tear. For generations, the Ninefold Paths, Burghandia's main faith, had been guided by the Bohiques, keepers of the sacred faith, unified beneath the legacy of Gurionaxia, the Last High Bohique, whose vision carried the Laixans across the breach into this world. According to Laxian tradition, the Bohiques were only second to the monarchs in power and influence. Lyra's death at the Battle of New Liaxax was not merely the loss of a leader of the Luminar noble family, it was the extinguishing of a celestial torch. Her voice had proclaimed unity under the 9 breaths. Her death left silence where certainty once rang. In that silence, many voices rose. The rise of regional Bohiques. Across Burghandia, Laixan lineages began to raise their own regional Bohiques, not as rebels against the Ninefold, but as claimants to interpret the breaths in their own lands. Only those of Laixan blood could claim the mantle of Bohique. This tradition, rooted in the sacred genealogy verified by the Zethal scribes of Yaya, ensured that the role remained tied to ancestral legitimacy. In Grithium, under the protection of the Vexia, Bohiques adopted the disciplines of the war host. They taught that Yokahu's strength and Ayana's vigilance were manifested through martial order. Their rites were held at dawn, under spears raised like sun pillars. In Vikoria, the Gurionaxia merchant councils elevated counting house Bohiques who sanctified contracts and tribute through sacred oaths, merging devotion with commerce. Their ceremonies were performed amid ledgers, obsidian scales, and offerings of gold, declaring that Juricon's currents flowed toward those who honored their word. In New Liaxax, major unrest and a civil war by the common folk who worshipped the Ninefold and saw Lyra as a saint. There, the power shifted to the Bohique, having power over the cacique of the Casinana family, oftentimes appointing the new monarch. In the Caxicon Valley, matrilineal councils revived ancestral rites, appointing their own Laixan Bohiques, trained in the lunar traditions of Adabe and Isla. Their circles of breath emphasized female elder authority and seasonal revelation. In remote marshes, jungles, and mountains, old cults re-emerged. Worshippers of Isla, Opial, and Moboyas raised Bohiques who claimed visions from rivers and forests rather than temples. Though Laixan by blood, these figures rooted their authority in the land's whispers. Though fractured, each region acknowledged the spiritual supremacy of the Luminar line, for no matter how many Bohiques arose, all traced their reverence to Gurionaxia, the Last High Bohique. Her deeds in leading the people through the Veil of the Breach were remembered in chants, carvings, and night vigils. In time, Gurionaxia was worshipped as an Anakakuya by many in Burghandia. She was whispered to be the 10th breath, love. Even rival Bohiques bowed in the direction of